Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Live Your Dreams podcast. Chris, we are very excited because it is the holiday season today, and we have the honor of speaking with a truly inspiring guest who is bringing the magic of the holiday season to life through her music. Her beautiful new holiday single, Every Heart Goes Home for Christmas, is a tender ballad that celebrates love, connection, and cherished memories, truly capturing the spirit of the holidays. Please welcome the incredible singer-songwriter, Sarah Martin McConnell, to the Live Your Dreams podcast. Sarah, thank you so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you. And let's start with a holiday toast.
All right, cheers.
Happy holidays to everyone listening. Thank you for joining us. This is my dad, Harold's famous eggnog, and I'm going to have a little sip right now.
Well, next time we'll have to do it live down in Nashville. We'll come join you for some of that delicious eggnog.
There you go.
I mean,
I make it from scratch.
So that I've actually never had eggnog like that made from scratch. I was
But then you've not had good eggnog.
Right. I like that. I like as a stamp right there. I love that your dad's doing that. That's fantastic. Now, Sarah, you're an incredible human being. The second you came on, we saw you. You have a great energy about you. What's phenomenal is you created an amazing piece of music here. You love it. It brings you home to the holidays. It makes you have this warm, fuzzy feeling inside. What started you, before we get into the specific and the song, on this musical journey in your life? Because music is something that I always felt transcends language, is relatable to all languages out there. We can all relate to music. What brought you down this path to become a beautiful singer-songwriter?
Oh my gosh. I think I was born with music in me. My mother's water broke at the symphony. And I was like, get me out. That's what I want to.
You loved it.
There are stories about me, as there are with so many people who have innate talent, and it's nothing that I had anything to do with. It truly is a gift. But from a very little person, singing in church and everybody quieting down to listen to me, and the lady next to my mother saying, don't make that child hush, and crawling onto the piano to play. And I moved to Nashville in 1998 in order to sing and write and perform. And I have a vast catalog. And this Christmas song, this year, it was just time to get it out. I wrote it with my dear friend, Walter Hyatt, who is no longer with us. And it just encapsulates everything about the holidays for me. And I hope that it's a message that other people can hear.
You have a vast catalog. I was wondering, is this your first Christmas song, or have you done other Christmas songs?
This is my first release. Wow. I have a couple of others in the can. I might release another one next Christmas. But I took a left turn about 18 years ago and launched a nonprofit called Music for Seniors.
That's great.
Oh, nice.
So I spent all of my creative time and energy and talents writing grants and finding musicians and making that happen over the course of 16 years. In 2023, January, I passed the baton, and that organization is now continuing forward in a wonderful way, hopefully toward national expansion. Nice. And I am returning to my own creative work, because one of the tenets of what we do at Music for Seniors is engage older adults in live and interactive music.
That's great.
Arts programming is so important for older adults to maintain vitality and live a connected, important life that still feels like you're giving back. So yes. I thought, okay, I am going to be the poster child for creative aging.
I mean, that is fantastic, because they push the art so much on youth. So obviously it's so important for everybody of every age range to understand music, the communication through it. And there's such a bond through music. I mean, I think music, again, like we said, it's a melody of the world. When you watch a film or you hear a story, when there's music behind it, it just elevates to that next level. And I love that you're doing that because people forget. You just cannot take music out of your life. And I'm sure for the senior community, it's such a huge difference and a release and an opening of their hearts again. I'm sure it brings back childhood memories. I would love to be in a room and see the faces and the connections of people when they're going through this. It must be an incredible experience.
It is a very moving and important experience for not only the older adults, but the musicians who participate. It's such a win-win. And then even for the larger community, because here's a vehicle to connect people in our community who otherwise wouldn't be connected. And my vision for the organization from the very beginning was this is a model that can go to any community anywhere, because there are older adults who are underserved and isolated and talented musicians no matter where you live.
Yeah.
And we, Music for Seniors, I say we, it'll always be we because, you know, it's my baby.
Of course.
But now my baby has grown up and moved out of the house,
That's great.
which is great. But it's just a really, really important thing to do to connect us, and we pay the musicians. We don't ask them to
Right.
do it as a volunteer. We work with the wonderful Nashville Local Musicians Association who help us get funding to pay the musicians, and we write lots of grants, and I mean, everything. But when I started it, I said, you know, when you move to Nashville as a working musician from another city, you've been earning your living in that city, performing and doing whatever. And it becomes very clear very quickly that unless you are in a small inner circle in Nashville, it's hard
I'm sure.
as a working musician. Now, things are changing. Nashville is just, clubs are sprouting up all over, and the live music scene is very different than it was in 1998 when I moved here. But so I said, I am not going to once again, as creatives, and I think this is not singular to just musicians. I think artists and sculptors and people who do creative work are always asked to do things for free. You know,
Yeah.
would you donate a painting? Would you donate this? Would you, you know? And I said, nope, we're going to offer a generous stipend for this important civic engagement. And it's worked beautifully. We have a first chapter outside of Nashville in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Of course.
And, I'm hoping for chapters, heck, all over the world. You know, there's no reason that Music for Seniors should not be everywhere. Music for seniors, easy for me to say.
You're 100% right, and I love what you're doing. And this is what's beautiful, is because you said it at the beginning. It's a win-win, and creators think that way, right? And look, I appreciate anybody who's donating or anybody who's investing into a creative endeavor, but their mindset works differently than a creative most of the time. So to have somebody like yourself who's a creative behind the engine of this vehicle, of this message, of this business is so important, because you think of things like, we need to have a generous stipend for our musicians. Now, somebody that's outside of the scope of being a creative may not understand that that person requires money. They just don't get it because they're not in the creative space. So I love that a creative is taking the helm and driving this ship forward. Fantastic, really. That says a lot.
Thank you. It really was something that happened very organically. My mom had been blown to Nashville by Hurricane Katrina
Yeah.
on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And she came to live with my husband and me and lived with us for the last 6 years of her life. And it became very apparent that we couldn't leave her home. She had just been diagnosed with mid-stage Alzheimer's.
Oh, wow.
And she went to a day services program and she loved it. And I said to the director, I'd like to come and bring my guitar and dulcimer and do sing-alongs. And it was so fun. And I did it monthly. And one day I walked out of there and a light bulb went off. This should be a
Yeah.
concerted community effort. And that was the whole inspiration for it. My mom, Marge.
That's fantastic. And now it's a movement and you're looking at to bring it around the world. That's fantastic.
You know, that's my hope and dream. We'll see. But hey, if you don't dream big, it doesn't happen.
No, we agree 100%. This is a show all about dreams. And Chris and I said it all the time to each other. When you come from a place, like look at your place. You came from a place of giving, wanting to inspire hope to people. You thought about this to your mother. You didn't come at this in a scenario where you said, I want to make the quickest money possible. Get in, get out. You thought about this of inspiring hope to empower others to be able to get out there and make a movement. And that's the people that get involved with the arts. I think people sometimes when they get involved with the arts, and you know this at the beginning, they see it as like a get rich quick or a fame run for that. And it's not like that. The arts is a lifetime dedication of what you're putting your soul, your spirit, your whole being behind. You have to love it more than anything if you actually want to make it work.
You know, you're right, because it was an arduous 16-year journey. I mean, I poured every ounce of every gift and talent that I had into staffing it and finding the funding and writing the grants and da-di-da-di-da. I mean, it was exhausting. So that and then COVID hit and all of our live programming we had to take online. I mean, by the time 2021 came around, I said, oh, I've got to figure out a really smart way to find a new executive team to get this organization on its way to a better team that can take it further than I can. I've done my part, but I'll tell you something interesting about that nonprofit piece. Early on, I was meeting with a consultant.
Okay.
He said, Sarah, wouldn't you rather do this as a for-profit than you wouldn't have to worry about boards or da-di-da? And I said, absolutely not, because I knew that the germ of the work, the heart of the work, was not about making money. It was about sharing live music and lighting up lives. And so I said, no, and besides, I had gone back to school as an adult to get my master's in social work. So not only do I come from a music background, but also from the helping professions. I mean, and I'm so glad I did.
No, you can, I mean, you can't hide your passion for helping others and your good energy. Like we said, as soon as you came on the Zoom, we saw you immediately, and it was like, I like her. She's nice. You could tell people that want to make a difference and change people. But was beautiful, we'll get back to the organization, but you as your own creative force, right? You've been out there for 16 years. You've been pushing. You've been working so hard to help the community. And now you're back in the driver's seat as a creative endeavor. And you created an incredible piece that's coming out right in time for the holidays. Every Heart Goes Home for Christmas. We're very excited to hear about your journey for this because I love the song.
Thank you.
Oh, sir.
Well, even this release was almost an afterthought because I've been working with a wonderful young creative team for a couple of months, 3 months. I have a collection of songs due to be released in early 2025.
Oh, good. Yeah.
It's called Love Songs to the Universe, and it's a true album of my original work.
That's right.
And we got closer and closer to what we had initially thought was going to be the launch date in October, and I just wasn't feeling ready. And then I thought, wait a minute, why don't I take my Christmas song, which I love, which was in the can, ready to go, and do that as sort of a little introduction to who I am and see if that doesn't spark some interest and pave the way a little bit for me to release other work.
That's smart. It's very smart move.
Well, I tell you what, releasing one song is a lot easier than releasing a whole album. So even one song.
We helped a lot of musicians as well. We said it all the time. Yeah, try to concentrate on one because trying to do the whole album very difficult. But what's great is people like the timing that you're doing. Who doesn't love the holidays? It's a great time. It brings everybody together. It's
Yes.
just that happy feeling. I think this is such a good time because again, it's specialized. So the spins and the attention to it is going to be great during that time period, which introduces your other album when it's ready to come out. It's the perfect leeway to get into it. It's the perfect segue to get there. It's excellent.
I thought so. And it was just one of those inspirations. Again, it was not really planned. And it all evolved from the process. You get involved and things don't always move forward the way you think they're going to, but I have ultimate faith in downloads from the universe. If you get a really great idea, even if it's not what you originally thought you were going to do, I usually pay attention to that and try to see if maybe that's a better idea. And I was just feeling overwhelmed with the release of my album, and I thought, wait, I love my Christmas song. Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that it becomes a Christmas standard. Every year it grows, and the light that I'm amplifying as a creative, I really want to shine back on the work of Music for Seniors in order to spread that organization far and wide. And now that I'm no longer at the helm of running all of the daily operations and doing all that hard work, I can step back and be a different kind of a spokesperson for creative aging and for the mission of Music for Seniors, because I'm a senior myself.
I love your motivation where it's coming from. Art is an expression, an honest expression of oneself. So once again, it's motivated by helping other people, being there for seniors, giving them the same quality of experience that you have without motivation being money. It's motivation about making a movement.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it is beautiful, Chris. You're absolutely 100% right. And when we talk about connection and spirituality, you created this incredible song, and you mentioned you co-wrote this with Walter Hyatt. An amazing. Your lyrics are special. How does it make you feel now when you listen? Because this song brings up so many emotions just listening to it. And now going back and knowing your story with your co-writer and his unfortunate passing, it must bring up so many great emotions and stir back memories of Walter and his great work, and you two collaborated together to bring this to life because music brings those emotions out.
It absolutely does. As a matter of fact, I'm full of goosebumps right now, just thinking about, I told somebody the other day, I remember us sitting in my studio at home working on this together. And there's a line in the song that says, laughter rings out, then a teardrop falls for those remembered. And that's what, but I am inviting Walter and all the people who I miss and love who are no longer with me to help amplify this message. Because finally, it's all about what I think is the true spirit of Christmas, and that is hearts connecting through love. Truly, love transcends everything. And boy, with the state of our country right now and the vision, we need it more than ever. So if I can do a little part to let people forget that for a while and focus on how we're connected rather than how we're divided,
Yes.
wouldn't that be fabulous?
It's so beautifully said because people need more. The world needs more of this type of creativity to make people see that we are united. It is all about love, especially this holiday season. Any holiday season, it should be about that. It should be about understanding missing loved ones, finding new loved ones in your life, connecting everybody together, becoming one. It's so important. Your song just it tugs at the heartstrings. I loved it. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
What you want to hear during the holidays because. And I love all holiday music. Don't get me wrong. I think
Me
it's great.
too.
But You have some that's like some get you, pumped up for opening presents and doing everything.
Right.
Your song is really a amazing song that you start to reflect and you think about your life and your loved ones and you're listening to it. I love what you created because you really
thank you.
embody the holiday spirit. Oh, you're welcome, because it really truly did that. Where it's completely happy. It's a nice song, but it makes you think. And the holidays should make you think a little bit about your life, your decisions of what you've been doing and where your life is going. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. You know, I have this dream that it becomes a classic like chestnuts roasting on the open fire.
Say that before. I love the
One of those
Yeah.
other wonderful, holiday classics that endure because the message is timeless. And it doesn't really matter if you're physically home
Hmm.
because you can connect with those that you love through your heart, through your thoughts, through your prayers. And so I'm a firm believer in this physical world being just a tiny bit of what
Right.
we have access to. And so when two hearts connect through love, that's where Christmas is. That is Christmas's home right there.
I certainly think that's going to become incredibly quotable to you right there because that was perfect. This
I hope
this
so.
becomes the next Christmas hit. That was your saying right there. I love it. You can't say it any better than this. Now, our show is all about inspiring dreams in others, and you're somebody who's doing that. Now, for our listeners that are young or trying to start down this kind of new spiritual journey to kind of take those first steps to follow their dreams or their passions in life, were you always like this, or was there a time you kind of had to make those decisions in your life? I'm going to start working towards my dreams. I'm going to dedicate myself. I know you said you moved to Nashville in the 90s. Before that, were you kind of huddled back against it a little bit? Were you always a working musician? I'd love to hear a little bit about your journey that got you here because we want to inspire those people that are up and coming and trying to step into this world.
I have always been driven to express myself through my music, through performing. It's just who I am. It's who I came out as. I had a friend who once said, Sarah, hanging out with you is like being in the middle of a musical. I'm like, yay, that's fantastic. But I'll tell you something. One of my favorite spiritual mentors over many years has been Joseph Campbell.
Okay.
There's a fantastic series of interviews that Bill Moyers did with Joseph Campbell. And Joseph Campbell said, follow your bliss.
Yep.
No matter what people tell you, if they say, oh, you can't do that, you're not going to make any money. You can't do, don't let fear and, fear is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to survive if I do this? You can figure out a way to survive. I worked at lots of different jobs as I was performing, as I was singing and writing songs. But the thing about it is, when you do follow what just winds you up and makes your heart sing, the universe lifts you up and doors open, and it's like you're given wings. And that's what Joseph Campbell says. And I found that every step of the way, not only with music for seniors, when I was at a dark space and I said, oh, how am I going to do this? Just miracles happened. I'm serious. It was crazy. But I've always been of that ilk. I was going to go for it.
One thing though, there's two sayings, be yourself because everyone else is taken. So I'm glad you're being yourself and express yourself. The other one is the fact that you wouldn't have this desire if you weren't capable of achieving it. So this is your purpose, well, one of your purposes in life, right? to get this message across. So no one other than you can do it, and you did a great job. That song is beautiful. I was thinking about Chestnut's opening. That's my new song. Your song is my new one. Yeah.
Yay! Wouldn't that be fantastic? Oh my gosh. When I left Music for Seniors, I decided I was not retiring. I was rewiring.
I like that. Yeah.
I had a friend, a colleague, send me an email that said, "Sarah, congratulations on your rewirement." And from that minute,
That's
I
great.
adopted it.
I love it. Yeah.
Because as J.D. Salinger said, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. You know,
Right.
the operatic lady and the horn thing, that's the end of the show. Well, it's not the end of the show until it's the end of the show. So our culture, I think, more now because more people are my age and the baby boomers are, you know, a huge demographic. But I think it makes you feel like you're still participating and alive and giving back,
Well, if you-
which is huge.
If you think about it, and I love what you just said, because look at so many business-oriented people that are out there, right? The baby boomer generation is huge, massive generation. A lot of people going into this, a lot of great minds that are in that generation. But so many people, instead of trying to do what you're doing and creating an outlet, creating hope for people, instead they're making places like nursing homes that are booming all over the place. And they're trying to take this generation with so much knowledge that could be sharing this and guiding the next generation and being a part of this, especially with the internet now. We can all touch each other's lives, and this great generation could be imparting knowledge to these young up and coming kids. But instead, the business mind is saying, let's put them in a home and shut them out. I love that you're creating this business and this mindset in this world where you're saying, no, let's get people out there to create, to come together and bond with everybody else. Say, no, you're not out of the fight yet. You're still very in it, and let's go out doing what you love. I love that.
Absolutely good, because I think if older adults can find those things that really speak to them, you know, arts activities are particularly great for mental acumen and connecting people. Even those who, you know, like my mom, my mother never had to go to a nursing home. I'm very thankful that she stayed with us and lived with us until
great.
her last breath. Died in her bed with my husband and me, holding her and all 3 cats and 2 dogs. I mean, all of us in mom's bed. That was ideal, but everybody doesn't have the luxury of doing that. I was really lucky that I had my husband, Mickey, to help me. But even those who are in assisted living or in community residential settings, that's why I love Music for Seniors, because it brings the community in to them and also gives them opportunities to go out into the community, because the organization also has a free daytime concert series every month.
That's right.
As a free concert, and then lessons, ukulele, harmonica, interactive drumming. There's even a session now, we call them learning labs, creative learning labs. There's a session for older adults to learn how to use technology to create music.
That's right.
It's happening right now. My husband's going to take it in a.
Yes, that's fantastic.
So anyway, it's just, there's so much. All you have to do is imagine it, you know?
As artists, isn't that what we do? All you have to do is imagine it and you can make it come true. And that's a beautiful thing about being an artist. If you imagine it, you can make it happen. And we have that imagination. Is why we need to continue this. And there's so many in the community, I'm sure, of seniors that wanted to be artists. They were pursuing, because essentially, you know, look, the world's changed, right? A lot. So the baby boomer generation came out of World War II. Their parents were fighting in that. So they didn't have the luxuries of a parent saying, you know what, you should go pursue your art or you should do something. It was a different time, different. Now people like the kids now. I mean, you look at people that are young kids that are 10 years old. The parents are much more open of, you know what, try to be a TikTok or be an Instagram or get out there, do your thing. These things did not exist back
Right.
in, 1948, 1950s. These were not things that were accessible to people. So I'm sure there are so many ex-lawyers or accountants or doctors that want to be at some point the artist, the musician, the filmmaker, the baseball player. They never got to do these things. And the fact that you're allowing seniors to now take that and follow those dreams and passions in this beautiful part of their life where they have more knowledge than ever is fantastic.
Yeah.
That is a gift of being chronologically gifted.
Very well said.
So much more. And
Yeah.
you've been through so many more experiences. It's a great place to be.
Mm.
Really. I don't think I've ever been happier in my life as well. I was always a late bloomer. I mean, when all my friends were dating and, 15 and 16, I looked like I was 11. So I'm very petite and I always was a late bloomer. And that is still coming to fruition.
I love that.
We'll see.
It reminds me, sorry, also, my mother later on, I convinced her to go back to college. They had a program which was kind of relatively cost effective, and she never knew that she could paint until she took the class.
Oh, how fabulous.
Yeah, it was great fun. And now she
How
loves it.
wonderful. Yeah. I mean, when we were initially launching Music for Seniors, kind of early on in the journey, we were invited to Washington, D.C. to present at an international conference on creative aging.
Oh, okay.
And that is a buzzword across the world. Creative aging.
I like that. Yeah.
Staying involved, staying creative, find what turns you on. And whether it's taking an art class or dance lessons or whatever it is, as you grow older, it does so much good for your brain, for your mental health, for your staying connected to others, just quality of life. It's one of the very best things you can do to stay healthy and happy, engaged, and pursuing a meaningful life. The research continues to show the value. And I'm testimony to that.
You are phenomenal, really. You having to be on here is fantastic. Now, before we
Thank
end up
you.
having to wrap up, is there any last words you want to leave our viewers with? And also, where can people learn more? Not only about your song, about your programs. If you want to learn more about you, any websites, we'll make sure to link them in the links below. Obviously, again, all of our listeners, we're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, we're on Audible,
Right.
on all the major podcast platforms, including YouTube. So we'd love to link to you guys. Where can we learn more about you, and any last words of advice you'd love to leave our listeners?
Well, you can find everything you probably are interested in knowing about me at my website, sarahmartinmcconnell.com. There are links there to my TED Talk,
Right.
to my WeWork Creative Award that Ashton Kutcher and I were on stage together. That was really fun.
I love
All
it.
of these are on YouTube.
Yep.
There's a PBS NewsHour feature on Music for Seniors. But YouTube and all of the streaming platforms have my song on it. Every Heart Goes Home for Christmas. And I guess I would leave viewers with just what Joseph Campbell said. Follow your bliss and don't let anybody talk you out of who you are and what you were put on this earth to do. Because I believe that is the secret. Loving yourself and loving others and being, as you said earlier, nobody else can be you. Be the most you can possibly be. I think that's, you're going to have to make concessions and you're going to have to earn a living. But you know, where there's a will, there's a way.
Sarah, there's no better way you can say it. Sarah Martin McConnell, everybody, you are a phenomenal individual.
Oh.
Everybody get out there right now. It's a holiday season. Make sure to support Every Heart Goes Home for Christmas. It is a lovely song. Share it with your family and make sure. I love also, see, Sarah knows how to also run a business. SarahMartinMcConnell.com. Keep it simple. Keep it the name.
Yeah.
Get on there. Learn everything she is doing. It is going to be fantastic. Sarah, the next time you have a release for the full album or anything that's going on with your organization, please let us know. We'd love to
Yes.
have you back on the show anytime you want. You are a fantastic individual. Again, it's a holiday season. We can't wait to support everybody that's out there. For the Live Your Dreams podcast, I'm Joe Gawalis.
Where's Victor?
Everybody, we're the dreamers. The dreams make the world go around. Remember, we need to support each other. Support artists like Sarah. Get out there. Make sure you're listening to the song. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends, because as dreamers, we need to support each other. It's a small community. It's about making people better. Sarah talked about that throughout this great episode, empowering others, making sure others have the ability to continue on and do great. Let's continue this journey together. Let's do great, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you next week. Sarah, thank you so much.